Welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work. In the hustle of profit, product, and productivity, it's easy to neglect the how, our ethics, our conduct, and our internal state of being. But what if the secret to sustainable success wasn't found in the latest management trend, but in wisdom that's existed for thousands of years? The host of this podcast, Kimberly Killer, is here to explore the ancient concepts of yamas and niyamas as a powerful framework for modern leadership. So, without further ado, let's get started.
Hello, and welcome to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to help you apply proven lessons from the yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today. I'm your host and guide, Kimberly Kaler, and it's my great pleasure to share my insight on how to meld mindfulness into our work world, however you define work, as a teacher, a corporate executive, or a community volunteer. Today's topic is Ahimsa in leadership, why nonviolence means good business. As a reminder, Ahimsa is one of the yamas that we discussed, and it's loosely defined as nonviolence. But don't think of it simply in the Judeo-Christian version of the Ten Commandments of nonviolence, and I'll explain more. So in the high-stakes arena of modern business, the word violence may seem out of place. We don't throw punches in the boardrooms, at least not usually. We don't physically attack our competitors. We consider ourselves civilized professionals. Yet, if we look closer at the landscape of corporate culture, the burnout, the anxiety, the aggressive negotiation tactics, and the quiet despair of undervalued employees, we find a different kind of harm. This is where the ancient principle of ahimsa, or nonviolence, offers a radical shift in perspective for leaders. Ahimsa is the first of the yamas, the ethical restraints outlined in yoga philosophy. Traditionally, it means avoiding harm to any living being in thought, word, or deed. For a leader, applying ahimsa doesn't just mean don't hit people. It means cultivating an environment where psychological safety is paramount, where aggression is replaced by empathy, and where success is not measured by who we defeat, but by how we uplift. Redefining violence in the workplace. To practice ahimsa, we must first recognize the subtle forms of violence that permeate our work lives. We often disguise these behaviors as tough love, driving results, or even just office politics. Consider the manager who withholds critical information to maintain power. Think about the team member who rolls their eyes during a colleague's presentation. Reflect on the CC line in an email used as a weapon to embarrass somebody publicly. These are the acts of microaggression. They inflict damage on the psyche, erode trust, and destroy the fabric of a team. The cost of these toxic behaviors. When leaders ignore ahimsa, the workplace becomes a battlefield. Toxic behaviors like gossip, exclusion, and unreasonable deadlines are forms of violence against the well-being of employees. The impact is measurable and severe. Psychological safety evaporates. When people fear being ridiculed or punished for mistakes, they stop taking risks. Innovation dies because no one feels safe enough to share a half-formed idea. Health also deteriorates. Chronic stress from a hostile work environment leads to physical illness, anxiety, and burnout. Pushing a team behind and beyond their limits is a violation of their physical and mental boundaries. Talent also leaves. High performers might tolerate a high-pressure environment for a while, but they rarely stay in an abusive one, or they silently quit, as that trend, which has been coined over the last couple of years, has been aptly named. People leave managers, not companies or organizations, often to escape the emotional toll of toxic leadership. So ahimsa, how can it be used as a strategy for growth? Choosing nonviolence is not about being soft. It is about being strong enough to lead with integrity. It requires immense self-discipline to pause before reacting, to choose words that heal rather than harm, and to make decisions that consider the welfare of all stakeholders. When we prioritize ahimsa, we build resilient organizations. We create a culture where employees feel seen, heard, and valued. Fostering psychological safety is key as well. Ahimsa is at the bedrock of psychological safety. As Amy Edmondson, a professor at Harvard Business School, stated, psychological safety is the belief that one will not be punished or humiliated for speaking up with ideas, questions, concerns, or even mistakes. A leader practicing ahimsa creates this safety by validating feelings, acknowledging stress or frustration without judgment, encouraging dissent, inviting differing opinions and treating them with respect, not defensiveness, reframing failure, viewing mistakes as learning opportunities rather than punishable offenses. The power of nonviolent communication also should be discussed. Our words carry immense weight. Marshall Rosenberg's framework of nonviolent communication aligns perfectly with Ahimsa and encourages us to express our needs clearly without blaming or criticizing others. Instead of saying you're always late with reports and it's ruining the schedule, an Ahimsa-centered leader might say, when the report is delayed, I feel anxious about meeting our client deadline. Can we discuss a process to ensure we stay on track? The shift is subtle but profound. The first statement attacks the person. The second addresses a situation and the leader's own reaction to it. So what are some actionable tips for leading with Ahimsa? Integrating nonviolence into your leadership style is a daily practice. It starts with self-awareness and extends outward to your team and organization. Here are some practical ways to begin. First, number one, the pause practice. Before you send a fiery email or respond to a frustrating comment in a meeting, take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, is my response intended to clarify and help or to punish and to vent? Is there an edge of aggression in your motivation? If so, wait. Ahimsa requires us to restrain the impulse to react defensively. Audit your succession planning. Review how you are preparing the next generation of leaders is tips number 2. Are you throwing them into the deep end to see if they can sink or swim? This hazing mentality is a form of violence. Instead, practice Ahimsa by providing mentorship, resources, and a safety net. Support their growth rather than testing their breaking point. Number 3, eliminate gossip. Gossip is verbal violence. It assassinates character without offering the accused a chance to defend themselves. As a leader, you set the tone. Refuse to participate in gossip. If someone brings gossip to you, gently redirect the conversation. Have you shared this feedback directly with them? I think they would appreciate hearing it from you. Number 4, review your deadlines. Are your timelines realistic, or are they aspirational fantasies that require your team to sacrifice their weekends and, even more important, their sleep? Imposing impossible deadlines is a violation of your team's personal time and health. Practice Ahimsa by planning with buffer time and respecting the boundaries between work and life. Finally, tip number 5, compassionate feedback. Giving negative feedback is necessary, but it doesn't have to be brutal. Use the kindness filter. Frame feedback around growth and support. Ask yourself, how can I deliver this hard truth in a way that preserves this person's dignity? How do we sum this all up? Well, the strength of gentleness. Adopting Ahimsa in business feels counterculture because we are conditioned to believe that aggression equals strength. We worry that if we are too kind, we'll be walked over. But true strength lies in the capacity to control one's power. Ahimsa challenges us to be firm on standards but soft on people. It asks us to achieve our goals without leaving a trail of casualties behind us. By leading with nonviolence, we don't just protect our teams from harm, we unlock their highest potential. We create a workplace where people don't just survive, they thrive. This week, pay attention to the subtle currents of aggression in your day. Where can you choose a softer, more thoughtful path? The shift starts with you.
Thank you so much for listening to Ancient Wisdom for Modern Work, a podcast designed to meld mindfulness into the work we do. We invite you to subscribe as well as visit wisdomfortheworkwedo.com for additional resources. Until next time, we invite you to consider how you can apply the wisdom yogi masters of yesteryear to the work we do today, with integrity, clarity, and compassion.